Guess who's back? It's the commish. Back here with the LOC playoff previews. We're going to do all tiers. This is what the commish looks like when he hasn't slept in a couple of days at least. Obviously, you guys all know about the newborn baby. So, anyways, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with tier 3. You saw the matchup. So, we got Dusan, European Division champ, Subotica Spartans, 13-0. Taking on Andy. Show me your touchdown, 7-6. Dusan, out of all the leagues, had the most points for 3,343.38. Obviously, it's easier to be the highest scoring team in Tier 2 and 3 because there's only 16 teams, 20 in the LOC. The crazy thing about Dusan is he's doing all this. He had a 13-0 season, perfect season, the second in LOC Tier 3 history. Chris and Bastion Street Bullies, who we'll talk about in a bit, did it last year, but he's doing all this with Brett Hundley at quarterback. The big one, though, Gronk is suspended for him in this one. I am picking Dusan to win, though. Next up, we got Justin and Breezy Does It, 11-2 International Division champ, taking on Danny and Goonland Roller Skates at 7-6. For Justin, it's Kamara and Hunt. Enough said, really. I'm going Justin to win this one. Next up, we got Ryan and the Gentleman sitting at 7-6. Taking on American Division champ Arturo and Force of Nature at 9-4. Crazy thing about this one, 6th versus 4th highest scoring teams in the league. That's going to be a good one. Obviously, Tom Brady and AB have to get it done for Ryan. Superman taking on Minnie for Arturo as his quarterback. That could be trouble. I'm picking Ryan to win in an upset in this one. Next up, we got Corey and King of the Tannehill at 8-5, taking on the commish at 8-5. Commish, Canadian Division champ for 2 years in a row. Yes, I'm Canadian, eh? This is the 4th meeting between the two. They met last week for the division. The commish is 3-0 versus Corey this year. The interesting storyline here, Matthew Stafford hurt. Might have to dress Mitchell Trubisky. Even with that, I'm saying Devils to win. All right, shifting the focus to Tier 2, more in-depth previews. Obviously, higher the tier, you get the video previews in the LOC all the time. Let's start with Eric and Swahino, 6-7, taking on Chris and Bastion Street Bullies, 11-2. I already talked about Chris. Last year went perfect. Last season in Tier 3, he was a Tier 3 champion, never lost a game. And this is a rematch of the Tier 3 championship from last year, except Eric having a much tougher season this go-around. Chris is 2-0 versus Eric this year. This one still could go either way, looking at it, though. But Chris, obviously, with 3,256.5 points for, beat Matthew in the last week of the season to take the number 1 seed and took the highest scoring team trophy from him. I'm going Chris to win this one. Next up, we got the commish, Johnny 8 Balls at 6-7, taking on Matthew and Cape Cod Sharks, the Central Division champ. For myself, I have 20 picks in the first 10 rounds in Tier 2 for next year, and I made the playoffs. I've sold, and I still made the playoffs. I'm pretty happy about that. Just like in Tier 3, though, I have Stafford hurt. Looks like I might have to go with Cutler, possibly. We don't know yet. No Zeke for 2 more games for Matthew. That's going to be tough. Plus, he's got Big Ben against Baltimore. Baltimore plays tough. And then he goes from Crabtree being suspended in the big game last week to Juju Smith-Schuster being suspended this week. Plus, Zach Ertz might be hurt. Even with those question marks, I still think Matthew and Cape Cod Sharks is going to win this one. Next up, we got Brandon and the Architect at 8-5, taking on Stanton and BC Lions, 10-3, the Mountain Division champ, the only Mountain Division representative in the Tier 2 playoffs. Tough one for Stanton, though. He's got RW3 heading to Jacksonville. I really think this one is going to come down to IDPs, though, and I think Stanton has the edge in IDPs. I know Brandon's been going back and forth with his quarterback. NFL.com does say Stanton by 23. I'm going to say Stanton wins this one. Next up, we got Chris and No More at 8-5, taking on M Unique, Ellie Island at 8-5, a Pacific Division rematch. Similar to me and King of the Tannehill in Tier 3, these teams have met 3 times. Ellie Island won every one. She won last week for the playoffs. It's a Pacific Division battle. Ellie Island is the 3rd highest scoring team in this league. Chris made the trade to me for Doug Martin, gave me a horde of picks. He's turned out to be a bust. And I wonder if the CJ Fedorowicz injury is going to be a factor. I saw he picked up Nick Vanette. I don't think it's going to be enough for Chris and No More, and it's going to leave him in a tough spot for next year. I say Ellie Island wins this one. Alright, so now for the one you guys have all been waiting for. It's the LOC previews. Oh yeah, you betcha. And we gotta wonder who's gonna take home all the money. It all begins this week, no doubt about it. We start with Susan Fighting Geese, 9-4. Taking on Chris and True North, 13-0, the first perfect season in LOC history. And we'll have to see if that'll continue. These two teams met last week, in fact, and True North won 219.01 to 192.68. Lots of storylines here. Again, Big Ben taking on Baltimore for True North. Drew Brees will take on Atlanta in the Thursday night game. I'm looking at Fighting Geese's lineup, though. If Ertz is hurt, it's definitely going to hurt for True North, or for Fighting Geese, and it's going to benefit True North as he has Trey Burton as an option to start. Perfect might be out in this one, though. But looking at Fighting Geese, Doug Martin looks like he's going to be out. Jordan Matthews just went to IR. The Jags defense is taking on potential MVP candidate RW3 for Suze. That's not going to be easy. I think Dez is also going to have a big game for True North against that Giants team that's obviously in turmoil. The NFL.com did say True North by 31. I think True North continues the perfect season. He makes it to the semis. Next up, we got Ryan and Deuce Bombers taking on Brian and the 12th man. Ryan and Deuce Bombers 9-4. Brian and the 12th man 10-3. Brian and the 12th man beat Deuce Bombers last week to win the West Division for the second time, back-to-back division titles. And for Deuce Bombers, doesn't get any easier. Gronk's out. He's already lost twice to the 12th man. Amari Cooper looking like he can be out. Injuries really killed Deuce Bombers. I picked Deuce Bombers to have the perfect season at the beginning of the year, but it all started with David Johnson going down, and things have gone downhill since then. Looking at Brian, Perfect might be out in this one. I don't know why I put it on the last one, but Perfect's on Brian's team. I apologize for the last game. For Brian, can he win 2 titles? Can the heist deal deliver another one for him? Julio Jones, we all know about the trade. It's been well documented. Got him for VJax and Josh Morgan. He also got Kenny Stills in a deal. I don't know how it was ever passed. I do give the 12th man the victory in this one. Next up, we got Glenn and Saving Matt's Ryan at 9-4, taking on Brandon and Wolves 7-6. A perfect example of when are you going to learn. I mean, you get the 1 year grace to come to the LOC to not have to wager money. These two teams didn't pay. Guess what? They're not eligible for prize money. They're in the playoffs. Great. I mean, yeah, you could win the championship. It's all paper as far as I'm concerned. So these two teams play each other. It's kind of fitting that they didn't pay, but one of them will make the semis. Which basically means whoever plays them in the third place game, if that's a possibility, already wins money. So that's good news for them. It's a really evenly matched game. Both these owners are new, like I said. It could come down to the quarterbacks. Matty Ice for saving Matt's Ryan, taking on Superman for Wolves. Obviously, Wolves takes a hit, though. Juju Smith-Schuster suspended for this one. You got to think, though, that with the wide receivers looking as thin as they are with the suspension, I'm going to give Saving Matt's Ryan the edge in this one. And then our last preview, guys, it's Lucas and Green Lightning at 10-3, taking on 3-time Eastern champion Robert and Templars at 6-7. A 6-7 team gets in. This kind of reminds me a lot like the New Orleans Saints versus the Seahawks years back, though, when Beast Mode had that run. Templars is not going to be easy. I mean, Zeke's still out for Lucas. 2 more to go. What a playoff matchup. It's going to be Dak Prescott for Templars, Carson Wentz for Green Lightning. Look out for DeAndre Hopkins in this one, I think, against San Francisco for Templars. And let's not forget about Gio Bernard as well, becoming a huge factor for Templars due to the fact that Joe Mixon got hurt last game. Looking at Lucas's team, well balanced. I still think he needs to improve at linebacker. I saw him make a ton of moves at linebacker today, so we'll see if he finds the right one. Alfred Morris has to deliver like he did last week. Whereas obviously Robert and Templars, huge Cowboys fan. He's got Cole Beasley, he's got Terrence Williams, who need to produce for him in supporting roles. This one I think is going to be an absolute thriller. But I am going to go with Lucas and Green Lightning to win this one. So, quick preview for everyone this time around for the playoffs. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I got babies and a wife to attend to, but what a great season it's been so far, and I want to wish everyone good luck in the playoffs.